Good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for coming in early in the morning to hear about tasks. My name's Howard Crow. I am the Group Program Manager of Planner and Project.
And my name is Monica Dragulski, and I'm a Program Manager on the Planner team.
So we're going to talk today about a big effort that we've been doing for the last year to create a coherent task ecosystem across Microsoft. And this has been a lot of teams working on this, not just us. We have a team in Berlin who you might have known as Wunderlist, who now works on To-Do. They're a core part of this. The Teams folks are involved in this. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook. Almost every app team at Microsoft has actually been working on this effort. And it's been an amazing journey for all of us to work together to solve what is a really big sort of horizontal problem for people about how to get more productive and how to use tasks to be more productive every day. Work has changed so much. All of our companies have been going through these digital transformations, and the amount of noise in the system has just become overwhelming. A huge piece of feedback we get from people is, hey, I just went through my entire day, I was busy as heck, and I don't think I actually got anything done. Everyone's laughing, because I think we all have this problem. And so this is a super common piece of feedback we get from end users. And so one of the things we're trying to do is figure out, how do we help people feel like they got something done during the day, to help them focus on the things they need to in all this noise in the system. And part of that is because you have to switch between different apps. There's tasks coming from all sorts of different things. How do you prioritize this thing against that thing? And then how do you get to a state where you're not being super reactive to everything in the system? And that's super hard. Part of the problem also is this interesting conundrum that you folks in IT will know, which is, hey, you're trying to sort of lock down and make sure that you've only got secure and compliant apps, but things are sneaking in the side door, which is creating even more chaos as people sort of bring their own apps into the company. And so we're trying to get to a system where we can sort of solve all of these problems with a more coherent task ecosystem. A big part of this is also the way that people are working together and communicating. Teams are changing a lot. What has happened is, for the first time ever, we actually have 5 generations of people in the workforce at the same time in significant numbers. This has never happened before. People are working longer. People want to stay in the productive cycle in their lives, which means that communication styles are different. Everybody communicates differently. How we sort of take accountability for tasks and work and communicate that accountability changes across all these generations. And making systems that bridge all of these different people is a real challenge and something that we're working really hard on. What we want to do, and our mission across Planner and Project and To-Do and this entire ecosystem, is to empower every user, team, and organization to feel in control of achieving their shared goals. And there's a lot of words in here that are important. One of them is to make people feel in control, like, oh, it's not out of control. I feel like it's not chaos happening at me every day. And then, of course, the shared goals thing is another big one, which is, hey, we all have goals in our companies and with the people that we work. And we sometimes have different goals, and we need to rationalize those across each other and communicate and make sure that we're being super open and transparent about what we need from each other in that process. And tasks helps us do that. It helps us communicate that in a very tangible way. And so if we can have a consistent way of doing this across our productivity cloud, we think it will help people just feel more comfortable every day and less stressed out. And so some of the work we've been doing is to connect all of the tasks across all of the apps at Microsoft. Foundationally, we think about To-Do and Planner as sort of the core of this work management, task management ecosystem. And then we think about these 2 apps living inside of some of our big hubs. So Teams and Outlook. This is where a lot of people spend a lot of time, so we need to make sure that tasks are available in there, and it's the same tasks. So that when you move from one app to the next in our system, you don't see a different list of tasks and a different set of things to do with a different set of priorities, that those personal priorities that you have are consistent throughout the system. At the core of this is the user. We've been doing a lot of studies with users about what makes them feel in control. We get a lot of telemetry in our system so that we can see like how they respond to different features that we do and make sure that they're using them and coming back to them and happy with them. And then we can reinforce our software to help reinforce that behavior that they have. And mostly to make sure that they can flow through our system with consistency with all these apps. And it can be to-do, planner, project, all of the different apps that are in the system. And so our design team has put together a video to kind of show what this looks like. And this is a visualization that they put together for the engineering team so they could feel what it's like to have a task flow through the Office system and let you feel calm and in control of your productivity. So we use this vision to drive how we think about the user experience across all of our apps. And what we're going to walk you through now is a workflow that we see as being sort of the core workflow for folks as they work in our ecosystem. And the first thing that you need to be able to do is make sure that all the tasks that are sort of out there, you can see them in one place. Because if not, you miss stuff, stuff falls through the cracks, you miss something, you feel bad about it. And all of this sort of increases the stress level throughout the day. And so part one is, I want to be able to capture tasks where I work, in the place where I work. And so in our productivity cloud, we've woven tasks through the experience, and we're going to continue to put it in more places and make it easier to capture tasks throughout the system, both tasks that are implicit and explicit. So for example, in Office, I can @mention somebody. @mentioning, it turns out, is actually a soft task. We call it a soft task. I don't really want to tell that person to go do this, but I kind of want to ask them to do it, and so I @mention them. And so we call that a soft task. But it turns out that, like, we've done some studies, and we've enabled people to basically create a task off an @mention, and 30% of people up-level their @mentions into tasks. And so it's a pretty good up-leveling experience there. So that's inside the Office suite. There's other places like the Microsoft Launcher on the phone where you can just go on your phone and create a task quickly. Of course, Cortana, you can say, hey, Cortana, remind me to do this, and it will put it in your to-do app. And of course, Workplace Analytics, and I'll talk about this in a little bit more detail, is a place where we're making a lot of investments in AI and ML to help people find and prioritize tasks throughout our ecosystem. There's a huge opportunity here for ML and AI to assist people in managing their work. And with that, I'm going to have Monica show you some really cool stuff.
Hello, everybody. So as Howard mentioned, it's a big part of managing your day to capture the tasks you need to do. And we see those Office documents as a center for collaboration. So here I'm going to show you how you can capture and work with tasks within a document to help organize and manage that work right within a specific document, so you can collaborate better with your teammates. So to create a task, you start by creating a comment, and as Howard mentioned, we're adding to the @mention experience. So you can elevate that mention into a task. So let's say here, I need Kim to take a look at this quarterly report. In addition to the mention, you'll see that there's a new checkbox underneath the comment. This. And this takes that mention. Anytime a mention is created, all of a sudden now you have this new checkbox underneath. So I can click the checkbox and post the comment with the mention, and now I've created a task. We see that there's a unique UI treatment here for the comment with a topper, we call this the task topper, on top of the common thread, and this history item saying that this task was created. Now as I scroll through the rest of the tasks here, I see that there's another task that's assigned to me, but I'm actually not responsible for this item. I think someone else is better suited. So at any point in the document, I can @mention somebody in a reply and say, let's see, actually, I'm gonna mention somebody else, and maybe Brian Johnson is better suited for this. And then I can then reassign, it's the same UI treatment, that checkbox underneath the comment. Click it, post it. In this case, this person doesn't have access to the document yet, so I can easily create a task and share the document as part of that workflow. And looking through here, okay, great. Here's another task. This one I've actually already taken care of. Great. Post that message and check that task complete. You'll see that the moment that task is completed, it's removed from the canvas. As you get through all that work that you're doing in the document, you want to get rid of that clutter. You want to see only those active tasks right in the canvas to stay focused on the work that still needs to be done. But that task, it's not gone, just completed. So you can find all of your active and completed tasks in the comment pane. So you see here, this one's still active, completed, completed. Here I see that Deborah's completed a task, but I'm not really sure. I think there's some more work that needs to be done. So I can reopen the task, maybe say, take a second pass at this. Now, once I've reopened that task, I can still see it back here in the canvas, and bringing it back to the focus as a task that needs to be done. And here, one of the things that's special about tasks versus mentions is that you have this notion of inline history. You see here all of these items of completed a task, reopened a task. This helps the people working on the document understand who's actually taken action of that work, who's responsible, who's in charge. What's also great about task is that it brings the owner of that work item to the top of the thread. So regardless of whether or not the task is open or closed, you know exactly who is responsible for that work item. In addition to that, with the new modern commenting experience, we've brought the tasks anchored right to the document, so you can easily see what that work item is referencing. Another thing unique to tasks that are separate from mentions is that tasks have additional notifications. For tasks, if you've elevated something to a task, it means it's important. It means you want to keep track of it. So as the person who's created that task, you receive additional notifications when the task is reassigned. That way you can stay on top of who's actually completing that work. And you also receive an email notification when the task is completed. This way, you don't have to keep checking into the document or pinging and pestering people. You just get that notification, and it can easily stay on track of the work as it's getting completed through the document. And this experience is available not only in Word, but in Excel and PowerPoint as well. So you'll be seeing that same task creation, reassignment experience across all of the documents you already work in. Great. Pivot back over.
Cool. What do you guys think about that? Pretty neat, huh? Monica works on that feature, so
Yeah, that one's
pretty cool.
I'm pretty excited about it.
So we love that feature. One of the interesting things about it is that we've actually updated the Office file formats as well. So tasks actually live in the Office file formats, which allows us to do a bunch of interesting stuff with search and AI, because all of that travels around with the document. And so one of the things that we've been investing in is My Analytics, for those of you who don't know. My Analytics is actually now starting to go through emails, and we'll soon do documents as well, and start to identify tasks in the system and then call them out to you. And so this is right now called Heads Up Mail or something like that. It's in TAP right now, and we're sort of experimenting with helping people understand what they might be missing in their mails and documents that they might want to do today. So this is just a very simple example of a task notification that you're getting, which sends it at the beginning of the day. and it actually identifies certain phraseology in here. And in this case, this is actually Monica's mail, and it's actually from her boss's boss. I actually identified that this might be important because your boss's boss asked you for something in your email, and it's brought it up to her at the beginning of the day with a little mail that says, hey, this is something you might want to look back at and not miss. So a lot of the ML and the AI that we're doing across the system, we're bringing into the task ecosystem as well. And there's a lot of opportunity here, so we're pretty excited about this stuff. So after you capture, where do you manage? And today, we have two main applications. The first one is To-Do, which is really about your individual tasks. And so we see this as the place where you go to see all of your tasks. So across the entire ecosystem, where do I see the stuff that I need to do and organize it and manage it? And the second one is Planner. And this is about your team and the set of people on your team, and how do you keep them in touch with each other, organize your work together. And then, of course, the stuff that's in Planner shows up in To-Do as well. So if something's assigned to you in Planner, it shows up in To-Do. So for those of you who don't know, the To-Do app was born out of the Wunderlist team. We've rebuilt tasks, the individual task app. It is actually based on Exchange in the back end. And so all of the Exchange tasks that you're putting into Outlook and all that kind of stuff actually show up in To-Do automatically because it's actually all using the same storage system on the back end. This is why things like flagged mails, things that you've stored in your tasks in Outlook are all showing up in To-Do because it's all just part of that same system sort of for individual task management. And it's got a lot of great features like My Day, which lets you create a smart list for things that you want to do today, because we all know we can't get everything done. So what are the things you want to focus on today? You can pin those up into My Day and focus on those. And Monica will show you a demonstration of this, as well as pinning stuff from Planner, for example, that you might want to get done today. The other thing is that it will actually be sort of persistent throughout the system. And we'll show you some demonstrations of this. So we really want to see sort of those individual tasks that you have. You'll be able to see those in any of the applications across the M365 system. Planner, for those of you who don't know, is really our sort of team or group task management system. It's got Kanban boards. It's really easy to use, assign people, multi-assign tasks to different people, organize them with labels, dates. And so you can actually have a very shared experience with your team in the way that you work together around tasks. And again, of course, your stuff will show up in To-Do. So Monica is going to show us how these two great apps work together.
Awesome. So before I actually start with these demos, I know a lot of these presentations, everyone holds in a cough at one point. I know I am right now. So just going to take a moment to cough. Go ahead. I'm going to do this myself. Thank you very much. OK, thank you for that. Perfect. Jumping into Planner. Planner is perfect for helping you manage your team's tasks. So right here, what you're looking at is your Planner hub. It gives you that initial overview of all of those plans that you're working on. You're working on different projects across different teams, so you can see those all right in your Planner hub. What's nice about Planner is that it's super simple and easy to get started. Just clicking on New Plan, Ignite Prep. And so you can just create a new plan, and then you can either add that to an existing group in Office 365, or you can create a new group when you create a new plan. So Ignite Prep, this is not our first Ignite, so we can go ahead and add that to an existing group, search through here, and add that to a group that already exists, and then you can leverage all of the benefits of that Office 365 group, all of the members and the SharePoint sites and whatever it might be. So here we're just going to create this new plan. And when you create a new plan, you're offered up this blank canvas to easily create new tasks and new buckets, whatever it might be. I'm going to go and jump ahead into a plan that's a little more grown up, more filled out. We have a bunch of tasks here. In this example, it's just for a construction project. So all of the tasks that I might need to accomplish to do that project amongst my team. We see Planner used for a variety of scenarios. Just some examples, it might be for weekly meetings. So as you go throughout the course, every week's months, stand-ups that you might have, teams will bring up a plan and see what each person is doing. And you can filter, you can group by, assign to make it really easy to see who's responsible for what. So as you might go through a weekly meeting stand-up, just filter to what each person is assigned to and just kind of go through that list of items. Another scenario that we see really commonly for Planner is ticketing items. So you might bring in all of the issues you have on a plan and then go through all of that. On the Planner team, any of the feedback that we receive, we actually have a Planner board for that. So we can sort and filter and organize all of that feedback coming in from all of you guys. And then, of course, managing projects. And these are plans that might end at some point. You've completed all of the tasks, and that project is complete, and that's great, and you can manage all of the tasks you have there. And then we also see it for templating as well. We have a new copy plan feature that allows you to create templates and then copy those plans. I see someone's excited. That's great. We are too. And that allows you to reuse the same plan over and over again, maybe for like vendor onboarding or something like that. So just highlighting some of the other awesome features we have in Planner here. Let's go and group by bucket again. So for every individual plan, there are a few things you can add to make sure whoever is assigned the task knows exactly what they need to get done. So you can set due dates, of course. We need to make sure not only that a task is assigned to someone, but we know exactly when that item is going to be completed. You can also add checklist items. This adds an additional detail. So if there's sub-steps that need to be completed, you can get those as well. And of course, adding attachments if there's any resources that are needed to create those tasks. And then we have labels to add that additional level of organization. And for all of this, for labels, for example, for due date, for progress, you can group by all of these items. So it's really easy to see how things are progressing depending on what you're looking for. And not only can you group by label, but if you also combine that with a filtering option, then you can see exactly, let's see, if I want to see what's late and group by label, let's see here. Oh, so it seems like these things are finalized, but late, but if they're done, then we're all set, so we can go ahead and complete those tasks as well. Great, so now we know we're on track. And then, let's go and remove that filter. And then what's nice about Planner is not only do you have this task view that helps you see all of the individual work items, you can also see a charts view. And the charts view gives you that high-level overview of progress. How are we doing as a team without having to dive into individual tasks? Just really clear, getting, see, we have 11 tasks left to complete this project. Okay, so we're getting there. We're moving on track. Nothing is late. That's awesome. Everyone's doing their work. We also have a schedule view. And the schedule view easily shows you kind of when those tasks are due at a high level. Great. So that's just highlighting some of the key points of Planner. In Planner, so if we, here, for example, Frank is a part of multiple plans. So within Planner, you have this option to view all of Frank's tasks across all of his plans here in this My Tasks view. Now, we've integrated this My Tasks view with To Do. So in To Do, you can see all of those tasks in Planner that are assigned to you right within that hub where you can see all of your work and all of your tasks that you need to accomplish. In addition to tracking all of the work items within a team where you can see what everyone is working on, you also just want to focus on my stuff. What do I need to get done today? So here you'll see all of your tasks from Planner. So let's just click on one as an example here. So you see the task and the due date. And you can also open it in Planner here as well. So not only do you see the task that it's assigned to you, but if you want to get that context and understand what other people are working on, in addition to the item you have assigned to you, you can open up in Planner right from To Do and get that full project view. In addition in To Do, you can see all of your flagged emails. So from Outlook, anytime you flag an email, those will show up in your to-do list here. And of course, in To Do, it's all about my tasks, so you can add additional tasks as you have throughout the day, specific things that you need to do. What's great about To Do is that the whole point is to focus and prioritize on what you need to get done. So there are a few smart lists to help you go about your day and get the things you need to get done complete. So here, okay, I have some tasks planned coming up soon. On Friday, I have to make sure I share all the great feedback from you guys this week with all of our engineers. So make sure I don't forget to do that one. You'll see here that's a combination of planner tasks, those are the green ones, and just to-do tasks. So you have that mix, taking in all of your tasks from different sources and bringing them into one spot. And then there's My Day in To Do. All of the things that I need to focus on today. And this pulls in from a bunch of different endpoints. Again, Planner, To Do, you can add your flagged emails as well. We also have, as Howard mentioned, we're really focusing on bringing intelligence into all of these features. So in To Do, you have this recommended section. So here, okay, we've got some flagged emails that are important, and a To-Do task and a planner task. So maybe we need to make sure this one gets added to My Day as well. And then as we go through, okay, so here's what I have to do today. I have to give an amazing to-do demo. How am I doing? Good? Complete that. And we're getting closer to completing all the tasks I have to do today. It's great. It helps me feel calm and in control of all of the work I need to do. Great. And with that, Howard's going to take it away.
Cool. Can you get my...
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that? Pretty cool, huh? So I think that's a great sort of indication of the direction that we're going in with To-Do and Planner as sort of what the use cases are for each of those. I know last year we had a bunch of feedback and questions about that, and so I think we've hopefully addressed that for folks. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is our hubs and how tasks show up in our major hubs. The To-Do and Planner, I'm going to say this, are for kind of us task geeks in some ways. So there's some of us who are task geeks, probably everyone in this room, no offense meant, because you came to a task session. But most of the world doesn't really spend a lot of time thinking about their task, and they just want to sort of operate in the environment that they operate in. And that tends to be things like Teams and Outlook, where people spend most of their time. And so it's super important that tasks have a big impact on people there. And not only that, but that people see a consistent experience in Teams and an Outlook that they see in To-Do and Planner. So that as they wander through the M365 ecosystem, they get a very consistent set of tasks that they need to work on and priorities. So they're not seeing like, oh man, there's some tasks over there, some tasks over there. They're all different. How do I know what's more important? So one of the big things that we announced at this conference is tasks in Teams. And so we have been working really closely with To-Do and the Teams team to build a new task app. And so this will basically be in the left-hand navigation pane, the app bar over there on the left. You'll see a little task icon over there. And what that will do is give you a view that consolidates all of the individual tasks from To-Do, plus all of the plans that you have across all the channels. So you no longer have to sort of hunt through all the different Teams channels looking for all the plans that are there. You can come here and see all the plans in one quick view. You can see them listed on the left bar there. And you can click through those very quickly. And Monica will show you this in a minute. So this gives you sort of one cohesive view across all the tasks. And so this is a huge achievement that the teams have been working on across Microsoft in a really sort of coherent way. There's some other great stuff in here, like there's a new list view on top of plans that people like with things like multi-select and being able to sort of multi-edit different tasks and stuff like that. So there's a lot going on in here, and Monica will show it to you in a second. So that's hub number one. The other big hub is obviously Outlook. I mean, this is where many people spend their entire days in here. And so what we're doing is we're updating the task app. The module for tasks inside of Outlook to be To-Do. And so you can see all the way at the bottom, you might not be able to see it, but there's a little To-Do icon in the bottom there, and the module switcher between calendar, mail, and tasks. And so what that will do is actually launch you into the To-Do, the modern To-Do experience. And as I mentioned, it's all being stored in the same place. It's still in your email inbox, but there's just a more modern experience on top of that with a lot of these new features like My Day and things like that. Not only that, but this will always be available inside of the Outlook experience. We're going to have a pane on the right-hand side called My Work that will have calendar and task on it, and you can drag and drop in there. And Monica will give you a demonstration of this in just a second. And so this is really our sort of how we see tasks showing up inside of hubs. A lot like the to-do and the planner experience, this idea that you have this very consistent set of tasks as you wander through our ecosystem as a user to make you feel sort of calm and not sort of fragmented is super critical here. So with that, Monica's going to do another awesome demo.
And we're back. So here, just Outlook Online open. I have a lot of emails coming in. As Howard mentioned, we have that quick link to do, making it really easy to pivot to the task that I need to accomplish. But as I scroll through my inbox, I want to make it really easy to capture these tasks, like everything I need to do. So that side pane that Howard mentioned, that to-do list, I can easily drag and drop any task that I have from email right into that list. Make it really easy to add any email I receive and add it to my to-do list. For here, just like I showed you earlier with to-do, you can add any of those emails to my day, making it really easy to focus on what you need to get done. For Outlook, we also have, of course, your calendar, the space where you schedule all of those meetings and everything that you need to get done. As Howard was mentioning earlier, right? Like you do all these things during the day, but actually feels like you didn't actually get anything done. So to help with that, we want to make sure that you actually have time to do those tasks that you've captured. You've organized your tasks, that's great, but now you actually need to do them. So for any of those tasks, you can just take and drag and drop them onto your calendar. Let's switch this over to my week view so it can be a little bit easier and make sure I'm actually scheduling things for a specific time. So go ahead, drag and drop that. And then there I have set aside specific time to make sure I'm getting my work done. Great. And now we'll pivot over to Teams. So we're really excited this week to announce this massive integration, as Howard mentioned, that we have across To-Do and Planner and Teams, bringing three teams, lowercase t, teams together into one environment so that you can manage your tasks, whether personal from To-Do or team from Planner, in the space where you're already having all of your conversations and meetings and discussions and files with your organization all in one place. So in this new native task app within Teams, you find all of the tasks that you have. So earlier in my demonstration for To-Do, you saw that you had that assigned to you list. So this is that location where you can find all of your tasks across multiple endpoints brought into one location. So right here we have that source item. So right now these are all coming from Planner. But in the future, you can imagine you have a source from any of the places you've captured. Emails, documents, whatever it might be. And then you have all of those same smart lists that you saw in To-Do available to you right in Teams as well, including your flagged emails. Now, right from Teams, you can also manage all of the plans that you have. So all of the projects that you're working on with your teammates, just aggregated right here, making it really easy to find all of those plans just in this team section. This is to help address some of the feedback we received around, hey, it's kind of hard to find the plans I'm working on. I have to go into a team and a channel. What channel was that plan in? So now it's really easy. It's right here, right in the task app. So you'll notice this is a list view. It's new. We're really excited about it. It gives you that high-level view, really condensed, letting you see all the tasks you have in one place. So looking through here, I can see all of the tasks for this plan, see what everyone is working on really easily. Right now, we're filtered by bucket, or sorted by bucket, excuse me. But I'm going to go ahead and sort by due date. So these are due pretty soon. So I'm going to make sure that these people know that they need to get their work done ASAP. And how will I do that? By marking them important. This is a new field, the priority field. I don't want to go through each task and update each one individually. Instead, I'm just going to multi-select all of them, mark them as important, and then we can change all of the tasks at the same time. And now marked as urgent, important, so people can quickly see all of the tasks they need to do and help the people on my team prioritize all of that work. And then we're not just offering the list view, of course, just like you have in Planner for Teams today and in Planner Web, the board view, making it really easy to see all those individual tasks, giving you all of the power that you have in Planner of organization, prioritization, to see what people need to work on. And then we also have the charts view, just like you do in Planner, and the schedule view as well. So you can group by and filter however you need to make sure your organization can stay on track with all of the work that you need to get done. We're really excited about the list view. That's a fun one. We heard a lot of feedback about that as well, so we're happy to finally bring that to you all. Yeah.
Cool. Can you get the
Yeah, we're getting back.
Thank you. Good?
Awesome. Yes. Oh.
Thanks. There was a lot of work in those two big things there, but it's really great to be in the main places where people are doing all their work and spending all their time and having those consistent views across there for folks. The last section we're going to talk about, I called it Going Pro, is really about the relationship between planner and project. For those of you who don't know, we just shipped an entire new version of Project last week. It's completely redone. We're going to show it to you, and you're going to be like, oh, that's really different. You'll also see the family resemblance to Planner. One of the things that we're trying to do is make it sort of super consistent and coherent across all of our apps that are in the task space. So one of the things you'll notice is that the little checkbox for finishing a task is the same across all the endpoints. That was on purpose. The schema for storing the task in the document is a subset of the shared schema we have between the different teams for storing tasks. So it's more than just skin deep. We've actually done a huge amount of work across the teams to coordinate the way that we store and think about tasks, the way that we show tasks in the UI, not just making sure that the experience flows, but that when you see a task, oh, that's a task. You know what it is. It's not confusing. You don't have to figure out, oh, is that a task? I can't quite tell. How is that going to behave? And so that the UIs are similar, that the behaviors are similar across all of that. And there's no better way to illustrate this than to show Planner and Project together. Does anybody know what the #1 user voice request for Planner is? #1. Gantt charts and dependencies, #1. Turns out that we have an app that does that. It's celebrating its 35th birthday, if you were at my other presentation, this year. So it's the second oldest app at Microsoft after Word, Project, Excel. So it's been around longer than Excel, pretty amazing. And so we've rewritten it from the ground up. We've taken the scheduling engine, we wrote an entirely new cloud-based scheduling engine that enables co-authoring of projects. We have a board in there for doing agile methodology. The board is actually the same board that is in Planner. The same set of folks built that board, so it behaves the same way, and you get very consistent experience there. It's built on top of the Power Platform. So you can use things like AI Builder to build AI models on top of the project data. And all of the stuff that you get in Power Apps with the no-code development runs on top of Planner. And as you'll see, and as this is going by, as our little animated GIF is going, you're going, oh, that kind of looks like it has a family resemblance to Planner. And it does. And one of the things that we're designing right now and working out is a new feature that lets you take a plan and grow it up into a project. And so in this case, what I'm doing is I'm selecting a plan. I'm trimming out the completed tasks so I don't suck those in because I don't need them anymore. And I'll create a project. And the idea is that I'm going to have a very similar experience, almost identical, to what I had in Planner so that that Planner user feels totally comfortable growing up into project when they're ready, when they've got the skill set, when they have the project maturity to do scheduling, understand what the concepts are there when they're ready to grow up, when maybe they get a lot of tasks and they want to manage dependencies on those. And so what we're going to do now is Monica's going to give you a little bit of a demonstration of the new project.
Great. Oh, pivoting over. But yeah, isn't that exciting? I mean, I've been working the booth for the past few days as well, and we hear so many requests from customers about what's the connection between Planner and project. So that's pretty exciting stuff, folks. So I'm just going to show you just how easy it is to get started with the new modern project. It's just going to be a simple demonstration. I'm sure all of your workflows are incredibly complicated, so let's just start with something simple, just how easy it is to get going. So go ahead and create a new project. And here we're just going to start adding tasks. Let's say you're prepping for a ribbon cutting ceremony, just for example. So we're just going to go ahead and start adding tasks. Press release. Next, and we need to make sure we invite the attendees. And let's see what else. Traffic control. And let's see, schedule speakers. Nice and easy. And then maybe actually order some ribbon for that ribbon cutting ceremony. Great. Quickly added some tasks, and I can just assign them to folks easily as well. And then for all these durations, let's see, for every person that has to complete these, let's say they have 3 days there. I can just type 3, enter, will default to the number of days, maybe another 4 days here. Let's see, maybe we have a really long one for traffic control. That takes a really long time. So we're going to go ahead and actually say months. It's going to take a month to make sure we work with the city. And schedule speakers. Let's do maybe 10 days for that one. And then order ribbon. That's going to be pretty easy, but who knows? Let's make sure we set aside. Let's do 9 days for that. Great. So for here, we've set aside those durations, and we've just quickly added those tasks. These are some top-of-mind items. But when we switch over to the board view as we evaluate and evolve all of these tasks, just like as Howard mentioned, you'll notice, hey, this looks just like Planner. And it is. It's that Kanban board, really easy to organize, manage all of the tasks that you need to do. So you can just go in and see. Let's say maybe I started ordering my ribbon. So right now, let's see, let's up that. We're 25% complete. I made a call, left a voicemail. We're getting there. We're on our way. So 25 complete there. And then right from here, I can switch over to that timeline view. And this is where we can start managing all those dependencies. So some things have to wait. So let's see. What do I need to do first? Schedule press review first. And then based on that, we'll do the attendee invites. And you'll see that just by dragging and dropping, connecting those two dots, made that connector, built that dependency, and you'll see that task automatically moved ahead in the schedule. Then in addition, once we have that, we can make another connection here, and you'll see everything adjusts accordingly. Maybe schedule a press review, and then we'll schedule the speakers, and everything adjusts, making sure you can track all of the dependencies that you have there. Great. Nice and easy.
Cool.
Easy to
so that brought us full circle, all the way from sort of managing your personal tasks up to managing more complex schedules inside project. And it really gives you the idea of the coherence that we're trying to get to across the suite. And then, so we think we've made a huge amount of progress based on the feedback that you folks have given us over the last couple of years and the couple of Ignites. And it's really proud for us, I think, to come up here and show you guys the work that we've done for you based on your feedback. And so we really appreciate you coming. We have 1 minute left for questions. But we'll also be here, and we'll be at the booth. So there's a couple of more sessions that we have. I think we've got a list. We've got a couple more sessions. We've got 4 booths down there. We're between SharePoint and Teams on the floor, and we'll all be down there
answering questions. If you've got more detailed stuff, we'll be down there.
Yeah, I'm actually at the booth for 4 hours this afternoon, so if you have any questions, we'll be there.
So thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it.